Alright, this is the first in a whole series of videos that I'm going to do on individual cards found in the Wildwood Tarot. So here is a picture of the box that the cards come in, and then this is the book that comes with the cards, which is a good-sized guidebook. And here are just an assortment of cards from the deck itself. The first one we're going to be focusing on is the Wanderer, which corresponds to the Fool. But first, just a few words about the deck itself. Now, I am very far from being a tarot expert. In fact, I've only had a few decks in my lifetime and never learned to read them intuitively or without referring directly to the guidebook. Most of my friends back in my pagan days were very, very fluent with the tarot, and I felt like they had the area well covered, so I just never really delved into it on my own. This deck is quite different in some ways from the traditional decks like the Rider-Waite in its use of so many of these nature-oriented and Paleolithic shamanic type symbols. So that's why it really appealed to me. Structurally, I don't believe it differs very strongly from most tarot decks, although many of the cards have been renamed. So, to begin, our first card, the Wanderer, of course corresponds to what's called the Fool in most decks. Now, the themes for this card are not drastically different, but I have gone ahead, and this is the series of events I'm going to do for each of the cards. First, I'm going to record the kinds of symbols used on the card, using this as my guideline. So first, nature symbols, then animal symbols, man-made symbols, human symbols, religious symbols, teaching, and abstract symbols. Now, not all of these categories will be met by any one card. As you can see here, there are some blank categories. But I'm going to use this to kind of record what symbols there are, and then I'm going to do some free association on words or symbols that I think are especially significant. Not necessarily on all of them, just, as it seems that it would be appropriate to do. Then I'm going to reflect on what the card makes me think of. So when I look at this card, it makes me think of the following things: an unplanned journey. It certainly has a spontaneous quality to it, a carefree quality. Makes me think of adventure. Clearly this is a very adventurous pose here that the youth is taking. Makes me think of youth. This individual here looks androgynous, could be male or could be female, but is more than likely young or young at heart. Makes me think of innocence and of trusting, because you can see that the person here looks like they are very much trusting that they will not fall off the cliff. And as they're just kind of reveling in the moment, they don't really have any fears for their own well-being. So they've kind of laid any personal baggage aside. They're just enjoying the beauty of the moment. And it may be that they are a risk taker as well, because see how they're standing with their arms outstretched on the edge of a cliff. It does not look like a cautious type of a pose. They seem to be enchanted by the scene here. I'm not sure how much of it you're able to make out, but there's definitely at least one face in the forest, which would seem to represent a spirit of nature. And the scene that you see here is just, it really captures the beauty and wonder and majesty that can be found in nature. And even the pose with the arms outstretched like that, it would seem to be a person that is just so reveling in the experience. They're just taking it all in. I'm sure that you've probably had an experience like that. Maybe you've gone hiking up the edge of a tall cliff or a mountain and then stand on the overlook, hopefully a bit further back from the edge than this person is standing, and just kind of spread your arms out, take a deep breath, just and I think that this captures that feeling that one can find in nature. And let's see, and clearly they are looking to be very present in the moment, and they are gleeful. This person is gleefully meeting the unknown, I would say, because they don't know what lies here across this chasm through this misty waterfall. and yet they are stepping there happily. So then I did a visualization, and there's going to have to be a part 2 to this because when these get too long, I cannot upload them. So I'm going to break now. We'll do part 2 of The Wanderer in just 1 second.